Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, bringing you a Transformers animated shady stolen Chinese toys review of animated jazz. This is one of the final toys I'm getting off eBay from this line because I picked up a couple at retail and it just tasted so sweet that it's going to take lots for me to want to go after anything off eBay again, especially with so many sellers disappearing if they're good and sticking around if they're horrible. I would name none, of course, to bring up any, bias into this review. But let's just look beyond that for the sake of, toys and fun. So Animated Jazz should be out later this year, probably just a couple months. He's Wave 3, I believe, and he's got a pretty tiny vehicle mode, actually, and this is a good thing, as you'll see later on, but his vehicle mode's a highly stylized sports car, which I would love to see done in real life, something this absolutely wacko jazzed up, with these giant rear view mirrors and stuff looking like rockets and exhausts off the doors and stuff, and enormous tail fins with rocket-shaped lights. I just love it. And some translucent plastic here, which I thought was kind of cool, is all these green headlights are translucent, and as well as all the windows around the body of the car, but they look like they're a different shade of clear plastic, which means that two shades of clear plastic were used, and not on any accessories, which always strikes me as a little surprising. Now, I could talk about, how cool this is, but I guess I'll show you the one weak point. Hey, baby! Yeah, anyway, the transformation of this guy is quite simple, but it's one of those ones where it can be a little tricky to line everything up nicely and still have the front wheels rolling without crashing into these parts. But it's a very derivative transformation. You've all seen it before. The legs unfold. I like how these parts become like kneecap bits, though, because they fold outwards just a little bit to give him some knee clearance. And he's got pointy shoes because jazz is that cool. And basically, you can see where this is going just by me standing him up like this. And then the hands fold out a little bit. Now, they do some things to be a little interesting, like you rotate these bits around. And he's got a joint that I'm not sure if it's supposed to be used like this or not, but if you wish, you can have these exhaust pieces up like, giant elbow guards. But they tend to just sort of fall apart when you do that, so it's up to you. And a neat little bit, you flip this black piece down to finish off his collar, which I thought was a nice little touch. And then you fold these bits down here, down there, blah, blah, and you're basically done. This is Animated Jazz. He looks a whole lot like his voice actor, Phil Lamar, to a stylized degree, at least in my opinion. And I like the addition of his little soul patch chin strap there. Very classic jazz sort of eyes. He's got a great look to him overall. Even from the back he looks great, which is something that I love about this line, and some of the movie line too, is that the toys look good from the back as well as from the front. And he's got one real feature. He's fairly poseable. I mean, he can kick! You see that, David Letterman? He can kick! And he's got double jointed elbows and the like, but his big accessory are these things, which pull out. Or if you want to be like the show, and that's what I think this joint is for, you can rotate this up and then they kind of fire out the top. And he's got nunchaku with a tremendously useless short string, so they can not really do what they're meant to do. And, something you may want to know when you get this toy, the way to load these in. Put the string in here, make sure the one with the tab is on top, see? And then you push these up and in there. And now he's armed with his nunchaku. Overall, this toy is just really cool. He's very simple, though, and if you're not into simple transformations, you may actually want to skip this one, because his transformation is satisfying. It's a lot more satisfying than most simple transformations are, but it's not something that's going to keep you up at night thinking, oh my god, that's so intense. It is well designed, though, because, and as is a hallmark of animated, these toys are movie toy complex, but the complexity is not something you have a direct hand in. It happens around you while you do the really simple transformation steps. Something this is getting across is when you look from him from the top, he looks like he has a giant chest, but he's actually fairly slim. Just got a big piece of armor up there. And he does have a waist joint, and it's up there, so you can still have that completely smooth waist down there. His ball-jointed neck, however, is one of those ones that's a little useless to the point where his head's diagonal when he looks to the side. If it had a bit more clearance in the back, it would be nicer, but you can only ask for so much. And he really does hit a lot of good points. Now, I would not recommend trying to get him from China right now, or ever, because the prices are going psychotic, and I never really paid a lot for any of the shady stolen Chinese toys I got, but nowadays you don't really have a choice. So, and you also face things like really, really obvious and painfully shameless shill bidding. So I'd recommend waiting. This guy is a $10 toy. Excellent. And I'm going to buy him again to get instructions and to support the line domestically. Overall, though, I'd recommend him if you see him in stores. If you're not into simple transformations, that may be a turn-off, but he does so much cool stuff that it's really a nice trade-off. His simple transformation is complex in design, and his robot mode really has everything you can want. He's stable, he poses. You can even have him Bruce Lee out a little bit, you know, like, 5 faces of fear, what? Ah! Kind of thing. And, I recommend him. He's an excellent little pair-up with Prowl, and I'm sure that when the other Elite Guard toys come out, they'll make for a very cool trio. So, this is Internet Personality Vangelus. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope it's helped you consider whether or not you're into the jazz train or not. And, yeah, I'll talk to you all again later. Awesome! I managed to hold this in so long, I can get down to business. Reenacting one of my favorite fantasies of all time, Phil Lamar versus Lance Henriksen, for the affections of a beautiful redhead. Alright, boys, get oiled up! Let's go! And then she does it. Oh no! Stop fighting over me! Ah!